Tonight, 300,000 people in West Virginia are being told to stay away from their tap water, not to use it for anything, cooking, bathing, washing, anything at all. A chemical spill in the Elk River may have contaminated the drinking water. A federal investigation has been launched into how this happened.
The problem began here in a storage tank full of chemicals used to process coal. It leaked into the Elk River, supplying water to the entire region. At first, the water company thought the treatment plant could filter it out, but then learned it hadn't.
Good evening, Brian. Tonight, the state has ordered the company believed to be responsible for this chemical spill to cease and desist and to inspect all its tanks. Meanwhile, FEMA is on its way here to Charleston to help deliver water to those residents who can no longer turn on the tap.
As residents of West Virginia line up for bottled water, many like Chase Tavares want to know why there was no state oversight of the chemical company that contaminated the local drinking water.
As far as what I understand, if it would have been inspected, I guess 23, 26 years it hasn't been inspected, so if it had been certified every year like they're supposed to do, then we could have avoided this whole situation.
There is no water, and that brings concern.
I got a buggy full of ice up here, so it'll turn into water, but I mean, you can't live without water.
The water is out. There is no water. Do not use your water.
What the chemical spill taught us is that water is extremely valuable, and we just often take it for granted because we have so much of it.
The EPA and local governments can't monitor every stretch of every body of water the whole time, right?
Now, what was surprising to me, and I think surprising to a lot of people, was how susceptible that water source was. So the spill occurs on the Elk River. The Elk River is a water source for that area because it's so clean, right? And it is surrounded by a lot of dirty water. I mean, the cost of treating the Kanawha River for drinking water is exorbitant. I mean, you just, it's so dirty you can't afford to. But the Elk River is a very clean river, one of the cleanest in the East, actually. And so it's, you see how dependent then we have become as a state on our few really clean, productive water sources like the Elk River. And as we lose rivers and their value of drinking water and become dependent on very few, then we become very susceptible to something that would seem like to be a localized event. And instead, that localized event, you know what, it touched a third of the state, you know, the residents.
I think that yes, it could have been prevented. I think that this was a colossal failure on all levels for everyone involved, government, private citizens, and the utility provider. I think that the state of Charleston's water and sewer infrastructure is such that it was a ticking time bomb. It was only a matter of time before something really bad happened. And this just happened to be it.
At this point, it's really just about detecting, is something different? Is something weird? Is the water unusually warm? Is it unusually conductive? And then it would be time to come in with test tubes and vials of water and go test it, find out, get the experts in and find out. But it could be the kind of thing where the experts aren't necessarily looking at a stretch of the river, but somebody is worried about it. And they can say, look, you know, every night at midnight, the conductivity spikes. Could you all check this out? At least come and take a look. And that's where I think things can start to get interesting, where the resources of the government or industry even can be like, oh, we'll go figure that out. And citizens can put that power in their hands.
To monitor the streams themselves, I think, is a dual-edged sword. It could be a very good thing for at-risk streams where there has historically been a source of contamination on that stream that we are trying to get under control, but to proactively put monitors in every stream that has any sort of industrial attachment to it in West Virginia would be expensive and prohibitive, and quite frankly, I think it would be detrimental to industrial businesses that may be looking to put a major facility in West Virginia. To me, it says that we are expecting that you are not going to play by the rules before you ever show up, and I think that's a very bad attitude to have, regardless of the outcome of the studies that are being performed on West Virginia's water infrastructure at this time.
So scientists like me, we can sample streams every day, all day, everywhere, and we do, right? But if residents in these areas aren't aware of it, or if it doesn't become part of what they're conscious of, it has less value. And I can tell other scientists what I'm finding, but again, until the public becomes aware of what's around them, the science has less value.
A disaster even of that scale is devastating and is a complete interruption of their lives, and I don't know how you would solve such a thing.